People all around the world are subjected to violence, discrimination, as well as torture and even execution because of who they are, how they appear, or who they love. Sexual orientation and gender identity are fundamental elements of who we are and should never be used to justify discrimination or abuse. World always judges appearance, standards, behavioral aspects and instead consider them in a different way. The world shouldn't justify or characterize a person just by looking at their appearance or way of living or any other factors. You have probably heard about the abbreviation LGBTQIAAP2S, but how many letters behind those words do you understand? Many people just know about LGBT and things get trickier when we go further. The term lesbian refers to the women who is sexually attracted to other women, and the term gay refers to the people who are attracted to members of the same sex. Often men get attracted to other men. A bisexual person feels attracted to both men and women. The term transgender describes a person who identifies mentally and emotionally as a gender does not match their biological gender. It is also functions as the umbrella term for transgender people, including trans women, trans men, and transsexual, a term describing people who alter themselves physically through surgery or therapies to align their physical bodies with their gender identity. And now it brings to the confusing letter Q, where it stands for all the letters together, queer. It's another umbrella term and applies to the LGBTQ plus people as a whole and is lot shorter and easier than LGBTQIAAP2S. And this word is generally used to identify themselves if they don't feel that they fit into a certain letter or a group. And Q stands for questioning, where it describes people who are wondering whether or not they belong to queer community or still questioning their sexual preference. I stands for intersex. Intersex people are born with or develop genitals with ambiguous sexual characteristics because of hormonal abnormalities. The first A in the litany of letters stands for asexual, a person who feels only romantic attraction and not sexual attraction towards any gender. The second A doesn't necessarily describe queer people and hence it stands for ally. A person who supports the causes of LGBT plus community without identifying as queer or LGBT themselves, and ideally this term would include everyone in who isn't in LGBT plus. P stands for pansexual, where members of this sexuality are attracted to other people regardless of gender. And finally, 2S stands for two-spirit, and this term applies to people who display both female and male qualities, whether in their personality, sexuality or gender identity. LGBTQ history is an umbrella term that captures the story of strength and struggle of diverse individuals, cultures and communities that have been considered non-normative. It refers to a broad coalition of groups that are diverse with respect to gender, sexual orientation, race, and socioeconomic status. It is a story of moments of justice, of moments of triumph and tragedy that people we now understand as LGBTQ have faced and often continue to face in our daily lives, and demands for the right to live, love and thrive. Human Rights Watch advocates for the rights of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender persons as well as activists representing a wide range of identities and problems. Thus, while in this video we focus on community that is encapsulated by the acronym LGBTQ+, the committee wishes to highlight the importance of recognizing that the various population represented by LGBT and Q+ are distinct groups, each with its own special health related concerns and needs. The committee believes it is necessary to emphasize these differences at the outset of the video because in this contemporary scientific discourse and the popular media, these groups are routinely treated as a single population under umbrella terms such as LGBT. And it is not something wrong when we see them, we completely need to discriminate or abuse them. It is we who need to understand that they also deserve some respect in the society. As this month is known to be Pride Month, we want to bring some awareness through this video. So let's hop into the video.
The Supreme Court of India delivered a historical verdict decriminalizing homosexuality by partially striking down Section 377 of IPC. The LGBTQ community all across the country erupted in the jubilant celebration, enjoying their victory against the 200-year-old British-era law that criminalized same-sex relationship. The significance of the whole judgment can be surmised in the light of the statement made by Justice Indu Malhotra while reading a 50-page verdict that says, "History owes an apology to the members of this community and their families for the delay in providing a redressal for the ostracism that they have suffered throughout the centuries. It took more than 70 years and almost 2 decades of the long legal battle to scrape down this old age law that had become a weapon to harass and exploit all those who didn't conform with the traditional binary of sexuality and gender. In 2009, in the case of Nas Foundation versus N City of Delhi, the High Court of Delhi held that Section 377 of IPC imposed an unreasonable restriction over two adults engaging in consensual intercourse in private. Thus, it was in direct violation of their basic fundamental rights enshrined under Article 14, 15, 19 and 21 of the Indian Constitution. In the case of Suresh Kumar Kaushal versus Nas Foundation, when the community, after 8 years of a long battle, was just letting out a sigh of relief, the Supreme Court on 11 December 2013 overturned the judgment of the Delhi High Court and recriminalized homosexuality. A bench of Justice G.S. Singhvi and Justice S.J. Mukhopadhyay Court held that LGBTQ person constituted a minuscule minority and therefore did not deserve constitutional protection, and further observed that Section 377 of IPC did not suffer from the vice of unconstitutionality. In National Legal Services Authority versus Union of India, the Supreme Court recognized the difference between both the gender and biological component of sex. The court defined biological characteristics to include genital, secondary sexual features, chromosome, etc., but defined gender attributes as one's self-image, that is, an individual's deep emotional or psychological sense of sexual identity and character, which is not restricted to the binary sense of male and female but can lie on a broad spectrum. And finally, on 6 September 2018, in the case of Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India, the court unanimously ruled that Section 377 is unconstitutional as it infringes the fundamental rights of intimacy, autonomy, and identity, and decriminalized homosexuality by reading down Section 377 to exclude consensual intercourse between adults of the same sex gender. The court rationalized that the Section 377 is vague and does not create intelligible differentia between what is natural and what is unnatural. It also curbs freedom of expressing one's sexual identity, that is, right to freedom of expression, as enshrined under Article 19 of the Indian Constitution. The Supreme Court also directed the government to create public awareness regarding LGBT plus people and to eliminate the stigma surrounding the people. The judges further elaborated upon the issues surrounding mental health, dignity, privacy, right to self-determination, and transgenders.
Independence. On 6/9/2018, the Supreme Court judgment in the case of Navtej Singh Johar versus the Union of India ushered India into the 21st century. With one stroke of judicial wisdom, the court flung the 1860 colonial law that criminalized homosexuality under Section 377 of IPC and wrote a freedom song for the lakhs of LGBTQ community, which is freedom to love anyone, freedom from fear of persecution. In the present picture, where one of the petitioners of the landmark case, Keshav Suri, with his partner, celebrates the Supreme Court verdict reading down the 158-year-old law by decriminalizing the Section 377 of IPC, which defines the unnatural offences, that is, whoever voluntarily has carnal intercourse against the order of nature with any man, woman, or animal shall be punished with imprisonment for life, or with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable with fine. From the judgment of the landmark case, Section 377 violates Article 14, which is the right to equality, as LGBTQs are being treated unequally, where Article 14 is the very basis of non-discrimination. And Section 377 also violates Article 19, as the LGBTQs have the right to express their choices without any fear, and every individual has the liberty to choose their sexual orientation, seek companionship, and exercise it within their private space. As Section 377 inhibits the exercise of personal liberty to engage in voluntarily sexual acts, so it violates Article 21 too. So the court upheld the right to equal citizenship of all members of the LGBTQ communities in India and decriminalized Section 377 of IPC. But there are a lot of stern battles that are to be fought and win the LGBTQ rights. Though India has recognized the transgender people as the third gender, but they are not given the equal rights which they are entitled to according to the Constitution. For example, in India there are no laws for LGBTQs regarding the adoption, and any such adoption are not legally valid. There is no anti-discriminatory law for the LGBTQ people in India. And there is Hindu Marriage Act which defines the marriage between people of different sex, but there is no marriage law that exists for the transgender people. And the bias law, where the punishment for a person if harasses a cis woman is up to 7 years of imprisonment, and when a transgender woman is sexually harassed, the punishment is up to 6 months of imprisonment. It is suggested to implement these laws in order to attain the actual equality amongst the people.
People take a leadership role in promoting societal and familial attitudes and behaviors that affirm the dignity and rights within educational environments of all lesbian, gay, and bisexual youths by providing a safe and secure educational atmosphere where they can obtain an education free from discrimination, harassment, violence, verbal abuse, and bullying. LGBT students face harassment in schools and almost every day. Being a teenager, it is tough to have a happy school life as all students have. According to the survey conducted, there are nearly 9 out of 10 LGBT students who face harassment. The 2007 National School Climate Survey found not only that LGBT students were harassed, but they also missed their classes and missed a day in school in the past because of feeling unsafe. So it's if the students don't go to class, they can't learn and their grades begin to reflect it. The only thing a teenager should worry about in schools is learning the material presented. Most of the teenagers have much more on their minds than that. However, harassment should not be one of them. The organizations and clubs provide a safe space for LGBT students in their school, as well as educational aid for the rest of the school to help better the climate and diminish harassment, which creates more supportive environment if they build the capacity of teachers and other school staffs like cafeteria worker, bus drivers, security personnel, etc. Many LGBT students find it hard to speak about harassment because it is so embedded in our culture. LGBT harassment is one of the last forms of harassment that is still allowed in popular culture. It is linked with other forms of bullying and contributes to a general climate of intimidation and intolerance of differences, as well as perpetuating rage and violence in schools, which can be driven them to make suicidal attempts. So be a lifesaver, don't discriminate or bully them. Many observers attribute the violence and killings in school to the tolerance of bullying and some harassment of persons perceived to be deviant by the use of gender related harassment. Some schools have been taken proactive steps to educate faculty and school peer leaders so that such language and behavior is unacceptable and will be a zero tolerance.
LGBTQ people face tremendous difficulties growing up in a society where heterosexuality is often presented as the only acceptable orientation and homosexuality is regarded as deviant. They continue to face discrimination and exclusion across the world in all spheres of life. The exclusion and discrimination have major impact on the lives of lesbian, gay and transgender person. This has resulted in the following: dropping out of school earlier, leaving home and family, unable to find regular jobs, have less option than others, being ignored in the community and isolated, lack of family and social support. Highly rejected LGBT young people were more than 8 times as likely to have attempted suicide, nearly 6 times as likely to report high levels of depression, more than 3 times as likely to use illegal drugs. Many LGBTQ people hide their identity so that they won't hurt their parents and other people, family members who believe that being gay is wrong or sinful. LGBTQ plus people are more likely to experience intolerance, discrimination, harassment, and the threat of violence due to their sexual orientation than those that identify themselves as heterosexual. This is due to homo- homophobia. Homophobia is generally defined as hostility towards or fear of gay people, but can also refer to stigma arising from social ideologies about homosexuality. Experiences that could negatively impact mental health are hostility from or rejection by loved ones or religious groups, bullying at school, harassment by neighbors, danger of violence in public places, casual homophobic comments on everyday basis, prejudice, embarrassed response from professionals. No protection against discrimination at work, housing, pensions, etc., and childhood sexual abuse. In the conclusion, we can say that the LGBTQ people do not reveal their actual gender, and that is because of the environment created by the society around them, making them feel unsafe, lacking self esteem and confidence. Even they are seeing this as a taboo and isolate themselves in public. Therefore, we should treat everyone equally without any bias. At the end, it can be said that protecting LGBTQ people from violence and discrimination does not require the creation of a new set of LGBT specific rights, nor does it require the establishment of new international human rights standard or any law. All people, irrespective of sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity, are entitled to enjoy the protection provided for by international human rights law, including in respect of right to life, security of person and privacy, the right to be free from torture, arbitrary arrest and detention, the right to be free from discrimination, and the right to freedom of expression, association, and peaceful assembly.
If it was a luxury,
we would not have asked for it.
it's indeed
A basic human right.